winners, welcome to a brand new video. We are cooking an incredibly hard meal today, alright? Everyone wins except for losers. Losers lose, winners win, and sinners sin. So we got a really fun video today, alright? I'm very excited, honestly. Trump just did an interview with Fox News. They tried to grill him, and Trump actually released some crazy info, and the entire world is shaking. So before we talk about exactly that, I have to show you this clip. When I saw this clip, I immediately knew we had to look into this video because this is crazy. Just before we watch this video, let me just remind you, Democrats are protesting for Iran right now.
Look, I've heard from people inside Iran that the regime in Iran has executed more Iranian civilians in the past 48 hours than the number of Iranians who died in the 12-day war. So, I mean, you've got a regime that's been building ballistic missiles, building or trying to build a...
So everyone yelling and shitting their pants that, oh my God, Trump bombed a nuclear facility, a poor, innocent, mostly peaceful nuclear facility. Iran has executed more of their own people, in the last few days than every single casualty of the war with America and Israel combined. Okay? You are cheering for the enemy. Actually, the enemy. So when I saw that, I was like, holy fuck, that's crazy. And I want to look at this entire interview. It just happened and everybody's talking about it, so of course we're going to have to dive into it. But more importantly, Iran keeps cooking, let's just say. Iran's Ayatollah has issued a death fatwa targeting President Trump. That's basically a death warrant that they want someone to go murder Trump. Ted Cruz says, oh. Now this is, it's crazy because I'll be real, this is incredibly wild. This is a foreign leader basically declaring that they want one of their people to murder our president of the United States of America. That's a declaration of war in any normal circumstance, but we're still treating them like they're not really a threat for some reason, and that they shouldn't necessarily be treated as the enemy. It is wild. Someone needs to tag Tucker Carlson immediately. Now, in other news of what's going on in Iran, Iran has arrested 700 Jews in Iran for alleged ties to Israel with zero evidence. They just arrested 700 random Jews and executed 6 of them. This is shocking and tragic, okay? This is a genocidal regime. This is a despicable fucking regime, and the Democrats support them. I don't know how Trump is able to get away with it. For my next trick, I will make the Democrats defend Iran. It's actually mind-blowing that it works this simply. Now, I thank God every day that Donald Trump is the president of the United States, and that, we're not England, for example. Listen, man, oh my God, Pakistan looks like a shithole. That's London, Mr. President. Because what's going on in London right now? Well, this is a singer who made a pretty wild chant.
Free, free! Alright, but have you heard this one, though? Death to the IDF! 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 Hell yeah, from the river to the sea, Palestine.
Yeah.
Must be, will be, inshallah, it will be free.
Yeah, so anyway, this is literally just what's going on in England right now. They have this massive thing where they're playing music. It's a concert. Last time I saw Palestinians in a concert, it ended up killing and raping hundreds of innocent people. But Palestinians have joined a different concert, and this time it is in the West. Now, this was broadcasted on the BBC, by the way. The BBC broadcasted this to 250,000 people live. This is in the UK, streaming death to just a foreign military that has conscripts that need to join the military. It's actually shocking. If there wouldn't be an IDF, 7 million Jews in Israel would be killed because it's literally surrounded by genocidal terrorist organizations. But yeah, so this is wild. So this is happening in England. Death to the IDF. Nice, classy. Classy, love to see it. All right, freedom of speech and all that. We love freedom of speech. He said other things as well. And I think this one's even worse, to be honest. I think this one's even worse. Heard you want your country back. Ha, shut the fuck up.
Heard you want your country back. You can't have that. Heard you want your country back. Shut the fuck up. You want your country back. Shit, me too. Heard you want your country back. Shut the fuck up. Heard you want your country back. And you can't have that. The only place I know. Stolen right under my nose by ignorant scum. Trying to lay claim to a land that ain't theirs anyway. Wait, what did you say? Heard you want your country back. Shut the fuck up.
By the way, this is him talking to people in England, right? Because you realize England is being overwhelmed with foreign agents, okay? Illegal immigrants, people turning the entire country into a shithole. And here he's yelling, heard you want your country back, shut the fuck up. Now, personally, now you can tell this is England because of the British flag right here. Now, personally, I think this is fucking great. I know, I am an optimist. Y'all think I'm probably crazy for saying this. I think this is an amazing thing. This is gonna wake people up. Your average boomer that's sitting in their house and your average English schmuck that's sitting there and be like, oh mate, I don't understand. There's this man on the telly. He's saying, heard you want your country back, shut the fuck up. This is an invasion, right? Right, oh boy. This is gonna wake people up. This is gonna radicalize people. Trump is gonna be looked at as like a fucking hero, that he's actually pushing back against this shit. When you see a giant audience of people cheering to the death of the IDF, just a random foreign military that's basically the last line of defense in front of, I don't know, 7 million Jews in Israel, as well as, I heard you want your country back, shut up. Again, the major reason why these people are like anti-Israel is because they view Israelis as white, and white bad. White bad, always white bad. And this is going to cause and trigger a massive awakening. You're going to see. I'm telling you right now, you will see. Now, anyway, this is just classic UK at the footage. Like, look at this shit. Is that a Hezbollah flag? Nice. Right? Am I right, guys? Look at that shit. If this is not going to wake people up, they deserve to get cooked. Oh my God. So anyway, now none of these people were obviously punished for any of this. Freedom of speech and all that, right? Freedom of speech is very important. No, that's not a protest in Gaza. That's a music festival in England. So don't worry, guys, because none of these people were punished. You know, freedom of speech is super important. Freedom of speech is a really important thing. So this is another guy who is expressing himself, expressing his freedom in England. Come on, England! All right, so he's next to a protest and he's yelling, "Come on, England! Come on, England!" Yeah. What's this? What's going on here? What's going on? What's going on? Oh, another police has shown up. No, they're not letting him go anywhere. Pretty weird. And they arrest him! They arrest this guy for saying, "Come on, England!" in England.
What did you do? Lock me up for no, man. There's nothing wrong there. They were saying England. No, they're walking down the street saying England. No, man. Slam it. Really slam it. Really slam it. Go on, slam it. Yeah.
To the slammer, baby. To the slammer. So, I was actually being sarcastic when I said there's freedom of speech in England. There is no freedom of speech in England. England belongs to radical Islamists that came from third world countries. Yeah, that is the true masters of England at this point. This dude say death to the IDF, whatever, no punishment. That's fine. I agree. I don't think there should be a punishment for words. If you heard you want your country back, shut the fuck up. Again, I don't think there should be a punishment for something like this, of course. You know, it's just words. It's just words. We shouldn't get people punished for words, but it should wake people up. They are saying what they mean. They're saying what they want. They're saying they want a hostile takeover of this country, right? And if you look at the UK, it's like an actual dystopian hellscape. This guy says, "Come on, England," and he goes to jail. Now, I think this is obviously not good for this person that got arrested, but people are gonna wake up. It's happening, and I'm glad to be on the based, correct side of history. Yeah, people are absolutely gonna wake up, and Trump has no interest in this. Now, this is what's going on in Iran now. I think it's important, because this was played on CNN. This is an Iranian protest right after they got absolutely humiliated by Trump. And also saying death to the IDF, you could argue, is incitement of violence, not protected by freedom of speech even in America, but I don't even need to get into all that, all right?
Martyrdom is a hugely important concept here in the Islamic Republic of Iran.
Martyrdom is important.
We're currently at an event where of women hold their babies into the air to show that they're willing to offer their children as martyrs for God and for Imam Hussein.
They bring their children to these protests, all right? They bring their children to these protests to raise them into the air, to offer them as martyrs.
All of that goes back to the legendary Battle of Karbala.
Yeah, I don't care about the legendary battle. That's not the point. Anyway, this is wild shit. It's crazy what's going on in Iran. Now, of course, BBC, this is the British news to show you how bad Britain is right now, and why I'm so happy we have Trump as the president of the United States. This is posted by the BBC. Tehran is coming back to life, but its residents are deeply shaken in fear by further attacks. At the Tehran market, everything looks normal like before the war. Dog, this isn't Tehran market! This be Israel, brother. There's Hebrew words here. You have this dude over here with a kippah. Bro, this is Israel. It's all in Hebrew. Okay, it is not Tehran. Nice try. Thanks, BBC. Very cool, British broadcasting cock. Very cool, thank you. Not Iran. Dude, these people are like actual scumbags. It's crazy. Now, meanwhile, I wanted to show you what's happening in Gaza. Because, of course, you'll notice a lot of people aren't really talking about Gaza. It's pretty weird. A lot of people aren't talking about Gaza anymore for some reason, and I think we definitely should be talking about Gaza. It's very important. So let's see what's going on in Gaza.
I love you. I love you.
I love you, Trump. Thank you, Trump.
I love you, Trump. I love you.
It's just a bunch of guys literally sitting there and yelling, "I love you, Trump. I love you, Trump. I love you, Trump. I love you, Trump. I love you, Donald. I love you, Trump." This is what the media won't show you. True. And the reason for this is because U.S. and Israel has given them over 50 million meals. That's why you don't hear about the starvation crisis in Gaza. There is no starvation crisis in Gaza anymore. That's crazy. And all it took was literally putting the meals in the hands of America instead of in the hands of the UN, which literally gave the meals to Hamas. And Hamas stole the meals to kill their own people, to blame everybody else and to blame the West. Now, I think there is a mass awakening happening. So this is a map, the Islamic conquest, blah, blah, blah. This is a map, as you can see. This was all under the Islamic conquest. Currently, this is Israel, by the way. This is Israel. You see this? You see where it says Jerusalem over here? This is Israel, where I'm putting my mouse. All right, so this is what Israel is. All this green was the Islamic conquest. Of course, no one ever called them colonizers. Now, you probably have to wonder, why is it that an American guy who's living in America, who's been in America, whose family's been in America for the last 300 years, why is it that they are considered a colonizer, but, the Islamic conquest colonizers are not considered colonizers? Destiny, a professional libtard, says, Brown, people are waking up, baby. People are noticing. People are waking up. We're living in a crazy reality. We're living in a crazy timeline. Even the wokies are noticing. Oh my, it's because white bad. It's because white bad. That's it, bad. That's what's happening. Oh my God, it's crazy. People are starting to realize, and that's why I think it's a good thing. Now, of course, I felt like showing this also. Israel is secretly poisoning Gaza's starving civilians by hiding deadly oxycodone drugs in flour bags. It's not cruelty. It's chemical warfare disguised as humanitarian aid. Look at this hand covered in flour with 3 fully formed pills in it. This has 100,000 likes. This is not true. This is just not true. This isn't happening. Bro, if you really think that Israel is going to give them food and secretly putting drugs into the food to give them without crushing the drugs, dog, why wouldn't they crush the drugs? This is retarded, man. Like, this was proven false a million times over. And it's hilarious because they're just trying to criticize Israel and criticize Trump, but they can't because Trump actually is trying his best to end the war, and that would be glorious. So Trump went on an interview today, and he broke the world. I felt the need to cover this properly. I felt the need to cover this incredibly properly because I needed you to have the context of what's going on in the world. Iran is, in fact, the bad guys. They are, in fact, demonic pieces of shit. They are executing and jailing their own people if they are even slightly anti the government. The Democrats support them, and England is an occupied country. So let's go, baby. I thank God every single day that I am an American. So lock in, boys and girls. Let's see what Trump's actually saying.
Good Sunday morning, everyone. Welcome to Sunday Morning Futures. I'm Maria Bartiromo. Thanks so much for joining us. Today, the most consequential week of President Trump's presidency, beginning with strikes on Iran's nuclear facilities.
Can you believe how many Palestinian children were murdered in Iran's nuclear facilities?
Victory. And ending with 2 key deals and a Supreme Court win. And last night, a motion to advance the big, beautiful bill in the Senate and get it to the president's desk before July 4th. The president welcomed us to the diplomatic room in the White House on Friday, adorned by murals of some of the most iconic and beautiful places in America. Sitting on top of the carpeted proud seal of the President of the United States, the commander-in-chief walked me through the strikes on Iran.
All right, I don't care about your monologue.
Mr. President, you were just coming off of one of the most consequential weeks anybody has ever
this week was insane.
Seen, from striking Iran to going to NATO to announcing 2 deals and then this Supreme Court victory. Have you been able to digest what has occurred in the last 7 days?
Not really. It was pretty wild period of time. And I really think in 6 months, we've taken the country and turned it around. I was
You
told
got a lot of work to do, brother. I appreciate what you've done thus far, but there's a long way to go.
by the King of Saudi Arabia, by the leader of Qatar and the leader of UAE when we went over there, $1 trillion investment into the United States. They said, you know, you're presiding now over the hottest country in the world. And
yeah, we heard.
A year ago, we thought you
I love how many times he got this one compliment and he was like, holy shit, I'm going to repeat this every single interview.
Country was dead. It could never
Yeah, definitely subscribe. I will keep you up to date with the shit and also make fun of retards. It is the greatest channel of all time. The history of YouTube has been graced with me, so you're welcome.
come back. It was so incompetently run by a very bad president. And
who?
I said, you're right.
Who?
This country is hot. And that was a couple of months ago. You know, now we're talking about what we've done recently. So the country is really going. The numbers are great. I watch you in the mornings, and you're giving those numbers, and they're really good. No inflation. We have a bad Fed chairman, but
God damn! Bro's just sitting down there. He's like, everyone loves us. We're amazing. Economy's good. Life is beautiful. Iran does not have nukes. What are you even asking me?
other than that, we have, great. It doesn't even matter. The numbers are so good. It doesn't matter that he keeps the rates artificially high. But it's been an amazing period of time.
When you went to the Middle East and you strengthened those relationships with all of those countries you just mentioned, did you have an idea that you would have to do something with regard to Iran? Because you teased it a little. You said, look, they've got to come to the table and talk. Something's going to happen.
Well, it was getting a little bit hot, and we knew they...
Bro, he gave them 60 days. I love how everyone needs to push this. He's like, he gave them 60 days to dismantle their nukes. They're not dismantling their nukes. Fuck these guys. Like, I don't understand. He bombed their nuclear facilities and did not drag America into a war. This is exactly what everyone wanted. Anyone with a brain wanted this.
They had a lot of sites, probably 3 plus the 1, but they had 3 main sites, and we knew they were going to have to either give them up. And I thought we could do it during negotiation, and we just about had it done. And then they said, we want enrichment. Enrichment doesn't mean like air conditioning, and it doesn't mean to jack up your car. Enrichment is a bad word.
Yep.
And I said, you got so much oil, what do you need that for? And they said, well, we need it, and I wouldn't let that
to make nukes. It was to make nukes, bro. It was to make nukes.
happen. I think people would...
Trump gave Russia 20 days and did nothing. Yeah, Trump gave Iran 60 days and then Israel obliterated them. Yeah, that's what happened.
Have understood it if I allowed that to happen. So we had a 60-day talk, and that delayed them a lot. And then we said, let's go at it. And it just worked out. And we wanted to work out also for Iran. They were beaten up, and so was Israel. In all fairness, they were both very tight. We call it the 12-day war. That was an intensive war. But the thing that I wanted to do, and I've said it on your show, if you look back 30 years ago or 25 years, we've been doing your show a long time.
He's been saying this forever. Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon.
And nobody like you. But you look back at the early interviews, I would say Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon. They've wanted this for years, and they were weeks away from getting it. And those pilots went in there with those beautiful planes and the most sophisticated bombs anywhere in the world. Think of it, they can go 30.
And it's 30 years old. We have much better stuff now. We use the old shit. We humiliated them with the old shit.
Stories deep into granite. Who would think that's even possible? And they did obliterate it, it turned out. Then we had to suffer the...
Yeah, it turns out they obliterated it. Yeah, that's the newest media hoax. The media is like, Iran does not have nukes. I cannot believe Trump would do this. And then Trump does it, blows up the nuclear sites, and they're like, I think Trump failed to blow up the nuclear sites, guys. Listen, they don't have nukes, but if they do, Trump failed to destroy it. Nice job, media. Thank you.
The fake news were the fake news in CNN and the New York Times was
very cool,
saying, well, maybe it wasn't as good as Trump said. Maybe it wasn't totally obliterated.
I love these guys. They're such obviously clowns to anyone that's paying attention. And if you are subscribed to me, you must also be paying attention. Dog, the way they oscillated from they don't have nukes to Iran to Trump failed to destroy the nukes over like a day has got to be the craziest twist of all time.
But it was destroyed, but not just horrible. And I could see it happening. And they tried to build that into a story. And then it turned out, no, it was obliterated like nobody's ever seen before. And that meant the end to their nuclear ambitions, at least for a period of time. And, a lot of people have said, well, do you think they're going to start again? I said, the last thing they want to do right now is think about nuclear. They have to put themselves back into condition and shape.
You tweeted the Democrat.
Yeah, they're too busy executing their own citizens and arresting random Jews in Iran to worry about nukes.
Leaked intelligence.
They should be prosecuted.
Who specifically?
Oh God, please let this happen. I would love to see consequences, man. We have lived in a country where people were directly committing treason and getting away with it. How is this even remotely acceptable? Dude, I know, listen, obviously, America is not as cooked as England is right now, as I've proven a few minutes ago. But we have a long way to go. If someone commits treason, jail that motherfucker, okay? Literally, jail immediately. If someone is not an American citizen and they are trying to cause the downfall of the West, deport. Hit that deport button like you hit the Diet Coke button. There is no reason to have people in the country trying to destroy the country. It is absolutely mind-boggling. Fuck these people.
Well, the people
Will you be able to find
They
out?
could find out. If they wanted, they could find out easily. You know, you go up and tell the reporter, national security, who gave it. You have to do that. And I suspect we'll be doing things like that.
Well, those pilots were so courageous, and, you know, you want to honor them. Are you going to do something for
Someone in my chat just said, back in my day, we shot traitors. Nowadays, they become Democrats. That's crazy. That's
them? Or
crazy.
you
Yes, they're going to come to the White House. But what you said is right. These people flew 36 hours in a small space, a big plane, but a small space that was mostly occupied by bombs. And they flew so brilliantly, and they hit a target the size of this circle. The little target, they say,
The size of a refrigerator.
half the size of a refrigerator door,
Oh my God, it's getting smaller.
from 50,000 feet up in the air, going at a rapid speed because they're going very fast when they're over a pretty rough territory, and they hit it every single time, and then they knocked out two other sites
Right in the
aside
nut.
from.
Do
They
you
Death
think
Starred that
the
shit.
Iran regime hid some of the enriched uranium
Oh my
before the
God.
strikes?
No, you mean did they take it out of the deep one? No.
You know, I love how everyone asks these questions. Everyone asks these questions like it's super fucking smart. Dog, it's not. It's not. Do you really think they wouldn't have noticed? Dude, think about it, okay? A, there are satellites. B, Israel's planes controlled the skies of Iran for like a week before America got involved. Do you really think no one would have noticed if they would have smuggled out uranium from the nuclear sites that were obviously being monitored as fuck? Dog, what are you talking about?
Because you were pretty clear you can't have a weapon. You're going to have to come to the talk. Something's going to happen.
I don't think they did. No, I think, first of all, it's very hard to do. It's very dangerous to do.
That one random Iranian dude in a trench coat smuggles out some uranium. Come on, dude.
It's very heavy, very, very heavy. It's a very hard thing to do. Plus, we didn't give them much notice because they didn't know we were coming until just, then.
True.
And nobody thought we'd go after.
Dude, actual masterclass in military strategy, by the way. Trump saying, we want peace, we don't want peace, we do want peace, we should make a deal, we shouldn't make a deal. He sneaks his planes in. Oh my God. Dude, we only heard the news that the nuclear sites were blown up after they were blown up. Like, we didn't even know this was happening.
After that site because everybody said that site is impenetrable. You can't, you're not going to be this way.
We penetrated the bitch. We impregnated it.
It is at the bottom of a mountain, and it's granite. Granite's the hardest stone, and it's granite. So no, they didn't. But I do believe they had people there because you had cars. They were saying cars, and those were masons. Those were people working with concrete. They were trying to seal up the entrance to where the bomb would most likely go in. And they did that. They were working on that, and the bomb went through it like it was butter, like it was absolute butter.
Because I saw reports that there were 400 kilograms, 800 pounds that they moved, but I wonder if it's traceable. I mean, if they were to have, they didn't move anything.
They moved themselves. They were all trying to live.
They moved one thing, and it was their own ass. They moved it out of there. They didn't want it to get split in two. They saw what Moses did to the Red Sea, and they were like, wow, we don't want that to happen to our asses. They picked up their asses, ran the hell out of there. They ran like no tomorrow.
They didn't move anything. They didn't think it was going to be actually doable, what we did. And what we did was amazing. And we went, there were energy commissions that went there now. No, it's just thousands of tons of rock in that room right now. That room, the whole place was just destroyed.
Yep.
And the other two also. Now, Israel was able to do damage, but we did the final damage. And we have the greatest submarines in the world. We launched 30 rockets from submarines, every single one of them.
Dead on
How will you know
size
if
of a
he tries to
refrigerator.
start things up again? Because Iran just said that they are halting cooperation with the UN nuclear watchdog.
Yeah. If that's not the biggest red flag of all time, I don't know what is. Iran announced we are no longer allowing the UN to monitor our uranium. Dog! Stop Stop!
The last thing they're going to be doing right now, for a period of time at least, is nuclear. At it. They've been trying it for 25 years. The last thing they're going to do is nuclear. We had to hit them, though. They were close to getting a nuclear bomb, absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, and look, I've heard from people inside Iran that the regime in Iran has executed more Iranian civilians in the past 48 hours than the number of Iranians who died in the 12-day war. So, I mean, you've got a regime that's been building ballistic missiles, building or trying to build a nuclear weapon. Why should we think that they're actually going to give up on this?
Well, they might not give up, but they're going to give up.
They're definitely not giving up. However, it'll take a while until they can actually do anything. Right now, they're dealing with so much shit. Dog, you don't understand. You do not understand. All of their top brass and all of their top nuclear scientists were eliminated. Their facilities were obliterated. Their people are at the verge of a rebellion. Dog, they are not building nukes today. It's not happening.
Give up on it while they're exhausted. They are exhausted. They took hits like nobody's ever taken. And frankly, Israel is tied. They wanted to, it was the perfect time. We went in, we destroyed their nuclear capability, and we stopped. It was a beautiful thing. And they couldn't have gone on much further. And Israel was that was a very intense 12 days. Very, very intense.
Has any other country suggested to you recently, as a result of this, that they want to join the Abraham Accords?
Yes.
Bro!
So we have
massive. Dude, that is Peace Prize shit. All right, that is some actual Nobel Peace Prize shit. If he gets like people like Syria to get involved in the Abraham Accords, that would be insanity.
Great countries in there right now, and I think we're going to start loading them up because Iran was the primary problem. I actually thought Iran would. I actually thought we had a period of time where I thought Iran would join the Abraham Accords along with everybody else, and frankly, they would have been better off than where they are right now.
And what about the Abraham Accords? Would Syria enter?
That's the big question. The Abraham Accords, someone in my chat asked, it's a deal that's made between different countries in the Middle East to kind of like become allies. Like Saudi Arabia and Israel were working on the Abraham Accords when October 7th happened, caused by Iran to blow up that actual Abraham Accords and to prevent them from actually making some sort of peace deal, because obviously they didn't want any of that shit. So it would be crazy if they can get like an Abraham Accords like that.
Well, I don't know, but you know, I did take off the sanctions at the request of some of the other countries in the area that are friends of ours. I took off the sanctions on Syria to give them a chance at, you know, the sanctions are biting. They're very strong. And we have sanctions on Iran too. And, you know, you take them off when I sort of gave the expression today, you get more sometimes with honey than you do with vinegar.
Well, you waived the sanctions on the oil with regard to China. So you're allowing China to still buy the oil from Iran.
Well, no, I didn't say that. We have the sanctions on. And if they do a job and if they can be peaceful and if they can show us they're not going to do any more harm, I would take the sanctions.
Dude, zero hate to the Iranian civilians that are literally being, you know, enslaved to this fucking evil regime.
Off, and the sanctions would make a big difference, as you know. You know, when I was, we had a great success in the first term. We had the greatest economy in the history of our country. By the way, it's going to be absolutely, this is better. This is going to be, I think, even much better. But we had the greatest economy in history, and we use sanctions. You use them very carefully. You know, sanctions cost us a lot of money. It's not just, gee, we're going to put sanctions on.
Oh my God, these people are crazy, bro. He's fucking wild. Listen, I have to say, what an incredible guy I am. I did such a good job last time, even better job this time. It's all happening.
Do sanctions, it costs a lot of money. But one of the things I was thinking about doing, you start waiving them for countries like if they behave themselves like Iran, where they can sell oil and they can do the things that you want to be able to do. The sanctions are very powerful, and it makes it difficult. I'm not looking to make it difficult. I want them to have a good life, but they were trying to develop a bomb, and the reason you try and develop a bomb like that is to use it.
No! What? No! What? Bro, Tucker Carlson, Candace Owens, and let me remind you, Hasan Piker, largest leftist political streamer of all time, terrorist, apologist, and potential pedophile. You don't understand. You do not understand. He has been saying Iran needs nukes for months. He's saying Iran should get nukes, not that they'd ever use them. It's for peaceful purposes. Listen, Iran may have developed their new Jew Smasher 5000, but they weren't gonna use it to smash any Jews. What are you talking about, bro? Fuck yeah, baby. No nukes. No nuke. Don't give genocidal fucks nukes. Hot take. We should not be doing that. And he has been saying constantly, we need nukes. Iran needs nukes. He definitely needs nukes. Obviously, they wanted to use it. No shit, they wanted to use it, bro. Duh. Actually, I mean, even the, like, retards on the far right of things, I'll admit that, yeah, absolutely, if Iran would have nukes, they would use them. The only person that's trying to gaslight people into thinking that's not true is Hasan Piker, because he wants them to have nukes. Let me see if I can find that clip. Actually, hold on. Let's do some research. I know I covered it in this video. I know I covered it here. Let's just go to the transcript.
Not knowing what's going on in my business.
I don't care. Transcript. Let's see. Iran should. Let's see. Nope, these are just things me saying that they shouldn't have. I said nukes 89 times in. I see. Okay. Let's see if I can find this, man. There it is. I think I found it. Check this out, baby.
Why can't they say that? Oh, that's right, because they have nukes. Okay? That's it. You gotta have nukes if you want.
This was him doing an entire long speech talking about how Iran has to have nukes. Absolutely, Iran's gotta have nukes. That's what he said. And this is retarded. Obviously, he's gonna use it.
I want to get your take on China, really, because
China,
the announcement
I love
with
China
the
very
Chinese
much.
Communist Party, whereas China will export the rare earth minerals. Yeah. What does that mean in terms of this upcoming tariff structure? You've got a pause in terms of the more steep tariffs that ends August 12th. Are you going to extend that? Are you going to keep that in place or go back to a higher tariff on China?
China's going to be paying a lot of tariffs, but we have a big deficit. They understand that. I have a great relationship with President Xi. We have to do something about the deficit because we have a big trade deficit with China. To get up to $1 trillion. Think of it, $1 trillion deficit with one country. He let them just take them over the coals. We're not going to do that. But we're doing a rare earth deal, but we're also doing, remember, we have all of the airplane parts. They can't fly their airplanes without us. So we had, some guards also. But it should have never gotten that way. We should have been doing they call it magnets. It's a rare earth, but they call it magnets, a specific type. And they're making those magnets for us right now. And we have a deal with China. It's a good deal, I think, hopefully for everybody. We had a deal with China where it was 145% tariffs. And I will tell you, everything stopped in China. I saw that. Everything stopped. And we did China a favor, but we're getting along well with China. I think getting along well with China is a very good thing.
No shit! And by the way, let me remind you, only the absolute degenerates on the other side of the island, like Trump, can you please condemn China? What do you mean condemn China? Just say China bad. Just say China bad, Putin bad, China bad, Xi bad, Russia evil. Just say all those things. He's like, yeah, but I'm trying to make a deal with these people. We're trying to actually make things work out the best for the people. No, say China bad. Every time.
But they are paying substantial tariffs.
Well, I noticed that because it seems like you go so far with China, but you don't sort of use the leverage that you can use. I mean, look.
If I ever had to use it, I'd use it. But when there's no reason to use it, that's good too.
Well, we did just arrest 3 or 4 Chinese nationals who tried to bring a pathogen into the country that...
Yeah, that's crazy how that story got swept under the rug. It's like, oh, don't worry, guys. All immigrants good. All immigrants great. We love immigrants. We shouldn't even check them. Just bring them in. Anyway, 3 Chinese people were trying to bring a pathogen into the country to literally commit some sort of mass murder.
Gets people sick and destroys food supply. We've got hacking.
You don't know where that came from, though. I mean, did that come from the country, or is that 3 wackos that happened to carry something? You know, you just don't
know. That's definitely treating. That's being the good guy. All right.
There was one that he signed that he would be. One of them signed a paper saying that he would value Mao Zedong's value system. So there was that, and then they hacked. Didn't they hack into our telecom system? They've been stealing intellectual property. They fentanyl, COVID. I mean, you know, all of this stuff. So how do you negotiate with obviously a bad actor on economics?
You don't think we do that to them?
Oh, shit.
We do.
So
we do a lot of things.
That's the way the world works?
That's the way the world works. It's a nasty world.
And then you just do a trade deal?
I'll be honest. I respect the fact that he's doing this, man. I really do. I respect it. It's like, yeah, these are bad people. They want us dead. Yes, they do. They want us dead. They do not like us. Yes, but that's life. And I respect that. I really do. I really do. And like, it's got to be some level of retardation. They have to sit there with your eyes closed and making believe everyone's nice. Or, you know, let's say the main thing that they do is they attack people like Trump for not openly saying that Putin is a tyrant and a bad guy and a war criminal. But you have to realize he's actually trying to make a deal with him. And they're like, but why don't you call him a war criminal and condemn him? Because you can't just go out there and condemn people like that and try to make deals with them. Obviously, the goal of making a deal with Putin is preventing people from dying in Ukraine and Russia. You know, that's obviously the goal. That you need to do that. So, yes, you recognize that there are bad actors, but you still try to get the best for, you know, your country out of these bad actors. Absolutely. Makes sense to me.
We do. Well, we made a lot of money with this trade deal. You know, I do a trade deal if it works. We made a lot of money with the trade deal.
You think that China is going to stop bullying companies to give them information in terms of in exchange for getting those rare earth minerals now?
Well, the companies shouldn't put themselves in that position. You know, they really shouldn't. Now, I will say this. China right now needs those companies much more than they needed them 2 years ago. 2 years ago, China could do that. Today, they can't because they need those companies. They need Apple. They need all of, you know, Apple's spending $600 billion, $700 billion in the United States building plants. They were never going to do that. Think of it, $700 billion. But a lot of the companies that are in China are now relocating back to the United States.
Yeah, because of tariffs. It's almost like if you have tariffs in your country, people are going to want to start building companies inside of America. I think the most obvious example of this was China created an auto factory because they wanted to make a lot of cars for Americans, because obviously Americans are fantastic consumers. They're the consumer capital of the world. Very hot country. Incredibly hot. Very hot. Everyone loves us. Our babes. You know, China wanted to sell a lot of cars to America, so they created an auto factory. And they created an auto factory in Mexico to make cars in Mexico to sell them to America. Why didn't they just open the auto factory in America if they're going to sell cars to America? Give some Americans jobs, bring industry into the country. Why did they open it in Mexico? Well, the answer is simple. It's cheaper. It's cheaper to make it in Mexico. So Trump is coming out here and being like, even if tariffs would make things more expensive in the short term, it is bringing unbelievable industry to the country. It's now no longer worth it for China to make auto factories in Mexico and pay the tariffs to bring them into America. It's actually worth countries investing in America.
So, yeah, China's going to treat them much better as they need them. They didn't need them under Biden because they were ripping us off.
Yeah, we have all the cards. We have all the cards, and Trump knows how to use them.
Left and right. They need them under Trump.
You just
he calls himself Trump.
Had a big success at NATO, getting the members to agree to spend more on defense. Is there anything you can do to get Congress to codify this? To get their governments to codify it?
You can, what you do, the best insurance is if they don't do it, you leave. You don't do business with them anymore, you know? You don't.
So based. Listen, Spain, I know you don't want to pay your 5% to NATO. Like every single other country in Europe now pays 5% because of Trump. All right? You don't understand. You don't understand. Because of Trump, now everyone in Europe is paying for NATO. This is crazy, except for Spain. So they asked Trump, what are you going to do about it? And Trump's response was, well, don't worry. They're going to pay it one way or another. One way or another, they will pay it. If they don't pay it there, then they will pay it to me. And look at how this is covered by retards on the left. Trump bullies Europe at NATO summit. Give me 5%. Oh my God, Trump is bullying. He's such a bully. Oh my God, what a bully. All these fucking retards. You realize that this guy, Hasan Piker, or as an example, because fuck this guy, he supports terrorists. He supports terrorists, okay? But he's upset that Trump is bullying European countries to actually pay for their defense instead of just sit like parasitic cancers leeching off of America. That's how retarded the radical left is in America right now.
Don't do business. You have to have a certain trust, but you can also say trust but verify. But we're
trust but verify.
There is litigation around the legality of those tariffs. Are you going to be able to get more trade deals done before you hear from the International Court of Appeals in August?
Sure, but we won the litigation and we had the delay and we had some radical left judge and then we had it overturned. And we're doing well in all of our litigation, on the tariff litigation.
Get him out of here.
Look, if some judge said we can't do tariffs, we would fall prey to the rest of the world who would do tariffs and are doing tariffs.
I love it. It's the logic you see every single time. Like, this is your classic, like, lefty, disingenuous logic. And you see it all the time, and it is fucking furious. It's so infuriating. Like, they knew they couldn't beat Trump in the marketplace of ideas, so they tried to put him in jail, right? Like, you realize you have Bernie Sanders going out there, I can't believe there are billionaires giving money to Donald Trump. There's billionaires supporting the Republicans. Meanwhile, the Democrats get way more funding than the Republicans. There are way more billionaires supporting Democrats than Republicans. But your billionaires are bad billionaires. My billionaires are wonderful billionaires. I don't like your billionaires, but I really like mine. Right? That's really what they're trying to say. And it's the same thing with tariffs. It's like, tariffs are so bad, they're going to destroy the economy. The whole economy is going to be destroyed. We have to stop Trump. We have to stop him. He's killing the economy. That was my Karen voice. What do you think? And after that whole freak out, it's like, yo, but every other country has tariffs on us. So like their tariffs are good, our tariffs are bad. That's what you're trying to say, right? Our tariffs bad, their tariffs good. So cool how they have tariffing us. That's okay, because we're white people. White people deserve to get tariffed. I so badly love calling myself a villain of my own story. I love self-hatred.
On us, if we couldn't fight them back with tariffs, this country would be in terrible shape. We would be like this innocent lamb being led to slaughter. So, no, we're doing great on economics. We're doing great on tariffs. Tariffs is just a part of it. We're drilling like never before. That's how
We're drilling, we're making oil, we're tariffing people. I'm having sex with Biden's wife. Don't tell Biden. He won't remember anyway. And all in all, it's a big victory for the orange man.
The oil got down low.
The Supreme Court victory that you got today, Friday, do you think that could apply to the tariff litigation that's pending here in terms of the legality of your tariffs? Does that affect that at all?
It could, but again, the tariff litigation, if you look at it, there are alternatives if we have to use them. They're not as good because they're not as direct. They're not as biting, but they're very good. So that you have alternatives, but we want to use this particular asset, this particular grouping, the words of this are so beautiful, they were meant for it. But what happens with the tariffs is that if a judge ruled against us, and this is part of how you win, fairness is also a part of the law. If a judge ruled against us on tariffs, we would fall prey to other countries destroying us. We can't do that. Tariffs on us.
Dude, it is so obvious. That's why it's so frustrating. It's literally the most obvious thing in the universe. Obviously, if you are never going to fight back or ever push back when other people bully you, they're just going to keep bullying you. Dude, it's like, it's basic, it's parenting 101. It is parenting 101. If you let your child get away with shit, then your child will keep pushing you further and further and further until they become a complete retard. All right? Literal parenting 101. So what do? You take the government and you fill it with these parentless people that don't have any life or any family, that just talk about fake virtues and virtue signaling shit and have zero actual experience in what makes life important and beautiful. And they're going to be out there, yeah, we should be teaching our children how to cut their own penises off at the age of 6. Yes, absolutely. We should definitely do this. They will use you and abuse you. They will. Oh, but what if you're gonna bully NATO countries to actually pay what they owe? Yeah, motherfucker. Yes, he will.
We do tariffs on them. If they charge us, we charge them. Then they never charge us.
True.
Coming up next, President Trump.
I don't care. I want next
I'm move
now.
On to the big, beautiful bill, and you have asked to have this on your desk by July 4th. Do you think you're going to get it in that timing?
I don't know. I mean, I can't tell you that. I hate to say yes. I'd like to say yes, but the problem is if we're 2 days late or 5 days late, everybody says, oh, you had a tremendous failure. Whatever it is,
True.
As long as we have it. It's very important. If we don't have it, there's a 68% tax increase. If we don't have it, the debt ceiling extension is very important. They gave a debt ceiling, the Republicans gave a debt ceiling because of the importance of doing it. They did that for the good of the country, and Republicans voted for that. They did a big favor. I don't know that I would have done it, to be honest with you, but whatever. They did a favor. Now the Democrats won't do that favor back. In other words, you never want to violate your debt covenants. So they gave, you know what I'm saying, they gave this 4 months early. It was due on September 28th, right before the election. A group of Republicans got together and said, you know what, this is so serious. We should do this for the good of the country. I understand that. Now it's their turn to do it, and they won't do it. There are a lot of bad people in the Democrat Party.
How are you going to deal with the $9 trillion that's coming due this year?
Just turn it over. Oh, well, let me tell you that we're going to do it this way. We're going to turn it over short term because we have a stupid person at the Fed. If I don't want to have to pay for 10 years debt at a higher rate. And then when you get somebody into the Fed who's going to be able to lower the rates, we should be at 1% or 2%. If you look at Switzerland, they're the lowest right now. They're at much less than 1 point. And frankly, we should be there too, because without the United States, the whole world doesn't work.
And you've teased a couple of names. You said you have a couple of people in mind as a successor to Jay Powell.
They'll all be good, yeah.
But you're not going to do that right now. So why do that? Just to put more pressure on him to come in?
People know because reporters ask me, you have other names? And I say, yeah, I do. Anybody but Carol.
And would it be Kevin?
He's a bad person. Yeah. Kevin is very talented, but I don't know that it's going to be him, but he's a very talented guy.
Right.
He wouldn't be doing what Powell is.
Listen, I think I know your priorities in the big, beautiful bill. I mean, obviously, you want to get the tax cuts extended.
The issue of the big, beautiful bill is it's too big. It's way too big. I really wish that we would be passing laws that were like 1 page each. Like, I know that they try, it's so annoying to get anything through Congress, so they try to shove like these pork-filled, massive, fatty-ass bills with like billions of pages and millions of things. And realistically, I do think that the big, beautiful bill is a net positive, but there's so much shit in there that doesn't need to be there. I really wish that they would release bills that are like one-liners. Like, one-line new law, the end. Like, why does it need to be complicated and long and impossible to actually research? It's so frustrating.
And you've got other tax cuts.
Any other things, though, takes care of the border.
The border.
There's also no tax.
True, it helps the border, it helps the tax cuts, it helps preventing children from getting like trans surgeries. Like, there's a lot of things in this bill that I think are just like wildly important things. The issue is it's freaking humongous. There's more pages. Okay, by the way, this is a true fact. You know, I'm gonna actually. There are more pages in the big, beautiful bill than in the Lord of the Rings trilogy. Okay, I'm not exaggerating. This is a true fact. How many pages is the big, beautiful bill? 1,116 pages long. Oh, maybe they shortened it. Wow. How many pages is the Lord of the Rings trilogy? All right, so it's around the same length. It's the same length. It's around the same length as Lord of the Rings. A little bit smaller. That's crazy, bro. That's insane, man. Dog, is that not just like actual insanity? That is way too long. If you're just trying to pass some laws, why on earth can't you just pass some laws?
On tips, no tax on Social Security, no tax on overtime.
You're right. These are all fantastic things. They should all be individual little bills. Like, think about it. There should be a little bill saying no tax on tips. Then there should be a little bill saying no tax on overtime. Why does everything need to be so overcomplicated?
I've spoken to a few senators, and they've gotten together, like Rick Scott and
Rick Scott? Last I heard from Rick Scott, it was a pretty controversial clip. Last time I heard about Senator Rick Scott, some crazy shit was happening. You guys recognize Rick Scott? This is Hasan Piker, largest leftist political streamer, terrorist supporter, maybe a pedophile.
$8 billion estimated that are lost every year in Medicaid, just in fraud alone. No.
If you cared about Medicare fraud or Medicaid fraud, you would kill Rick Scott, okay? You wouldn't make Rick Scott, former governor of Florida, Rick Scott, you wouldn't make him a prominent part of the Republican Party.
Yeah, so this is Hasan telling his audience of millions of people to murder a United States senator. I think this guy should be in jail, honestly. Classic, right, guys? Classic communist.
Johnson and Mike Lee, and Rick Scott's worried about the overall cost, and Mike Lee is worried about the Inflation Reduction Act, and
the Inflation Reduction Act is what caused a lot of problems.
So why don't you just take that out? It
was the Biden administration.
Why are there still green subsidies in that?
I'm all for that. I think we shouldn't be giving money to all of these scams. But what happened is some of them have been started, like projects, and if you stop it, it's in the middle. So I understand that too, and people work there. And they're, working there, and they're from the district of a congressman or a senator. But no. The Inflation Reduction Act was another Biden scam. And when I say Biden, it's not Biden. It was a little around the, And
we don't know who controlled the government. We still don't know who ran the government for 4 years. How is this not the biggest scandal in American history? We don't know who ran the government from 2020 to 2024. How is this not a bigger scandal?
The Oval Office, around the beautiful Resolute desk. It's not Biden, because I don't think Biden knew what was happening. I think that the AutoPen is one of the biggest scandals in the history of this country.
He's right. He's so right.
Because the person that operated the AutoPen was the president of the United States, and I think that that's going to be sought out, and we're going to find out what happened.
Oh, hell yeah, dude. I really hope this happens. Like, I hope this doesn't become another Epstein list, that it's, like, promised, and then it just vanishes into the ether. I really would like to get resolution to a lot of this shit.
I believe it's this week that's 1 year ago, which was the debate where...
Yes, exactly 1 year ago was the debate between Trump and Biden that sealed his fate.
His mental capacity was exposed to so many people who didn't know it. Many of us saw it, obviously, in advance, and now James Comer at the Oversight Committee wants lots of people to come in. Who would you like to see come in and testify on that? Under oath.
I would say Lisa.
Bro, dude.
He was separating babies from them, putting them in cages, making sure that the families were separated. That's not the right way to go. What I've done since I've changed the law, what's happened? I've changed it in a way that now you're in a situation where there are 40% fewer people coming across the border illegally. It's better than when he left office. And I'm going to continue to move until we get the total ban, the total initiative relative to what we're going to do with more border patrol and more asylum.
President Trump?
I really don't know what he said at the end of that. I don't think he knows what he said either. Look.
That's the craziest clip of all. That's when Biden was immediately removed, bro. Oh my god. I don't know what he was. I don't know, man. That's crazy. All right. Anyway.
Who was in there?
Is that the deputy at the time?
Yeah, it was
Lisa Monaco.
He was a big supporter of
Bro, they need to get Jake Paul to box Joe Biden. What do you think, guys?
Andrew Weissman. These are people that I think are very bad people. They had radical left lunatics working there, and they took over that office. They didn't want Biden, and then after a little while they realized he's incompetent. This is really a good thing. And they ran that thing. Look, Biden was never for open borders. Biden was never for transgender for everybody. He was never for men playing in women's sports. He was never for that.
No normal person is for that. This has to be some shadow cabal establishment shit. There is no way. There is no reasonable person that's for any of these things. Literally, no one is for these things. This is a 95-5 issue. No one is for this. It's actually retarded. It has to be some manipulative force that's trying to convince people that it's important so they can campaign on this instead of actually cutting taxes. It has to be something nefarious like that because there is no reasonable way anyone would be on the side of that actual retardation. Oh my God.
Biden is a disaster. This is a disaster. But the worst thing that he's done to us, inflation is terrible, but I've solved that problem already. Inflation is bad and other things are bad and many things are, and the fact that we have no respect all around the world for the country, but now we do I think maybe at the
It's back, baby. Dog, you see England. That's why I wanted to show you England. Look at England. Oh, my Lord.
To the highest level in 6 months. But if you look at what he did to the border is so bad. So much of my time is spent on the border. You know, last month we had no people.
It's crazy to think about that, to be honest. Like, all the shit that Trump is dealing with the border, with the riots, with the protests, with the illegal immigrants, this is because of Biden. Like, this is literally just dealing with the leftovers of the nuclear holocaust that Biden committed on the country. Like, it's actually crazy to think about it.
People coming.
I know.
But the bad part is he let in 21 million people.
That's crazy.
And we have to check those people. Totally unvetted.
Yeah, and then you have people on the Democratic side saying, due process. Everyone needs a lawyer and a court case and a whole thing, sitting in court, dealing with judges and filing appeals. And dog, let me tell you what the due process should be. Are you in the country and you're not legally in the country? Okay, that's the due process. Now get the fuck out. This is my opinion. Literally, there is no reason why we need to sit through hell because 20 million illegal people decided to enter the country. I don't understand why this is even a controversial opinion.
Totally unchecked. And 11,888 have murdered people. Half of them have murdered more than one person. People come in from gangs, from prisons. They emptied out Venezuela, emptied out its prisons.
Have you been backing away from this, though? Because recently you said, let's ease up on, taking in people that are working, hardworking, like in farms and hotels.
I don't back away. What I do have, I cherish.
It's a good question.
Our farmers. And when we go into a farm and we take away people that have been working there for 15 and 20 years who are good, who possibly came in incorrectly, and what we're going to do is we're going to do something for farmers where we can let the farmer sort of be in charge. The farmer knows he's not going to hire a murderer. But, when you go into a farm and...
I don't agree, to be honest. I think if you're illegally in the country, you should get out. I really do. If they were here for 15 years and you have farmers that are literally using illegal immigrants because it's cheaper labor and you're just, because that's why they use them. Obviously, they only use them because they want to pay them less. That is why they use illegal immigrants as their slave labor, because why actually pay someone minimum wage if you could pay an illegal immigrant and not declare any taxes? Obviously, that's the reason why they do that. And in my opinion, I don't think it makes sense. I don't think so. I think if you are illegally in the country, you should leave. I really do. I really think that's the case.
And he's had somebody working with him for 9 years doing this kind of work. Which,
they're not a murderer, but they're illegally in the country. And if you're setting a precedent that you're not allowed to have people coming into the country illegally, and if you come into the country illegally, you leave, I don't understand what this means. I don't understand what just letting them go. So I don't know if I'm actually on board with that.
It's hard work to do, and a lot of people aren't going to do it. And you end up destroying a farmer because you took all the people away. It's a problem. I'm on both sides of the thing. I'm the strongest immigration guy that there's ever been. but I'm also the strongest farmer guy that there's ever been. And that includes also...
I am pro everyone. I am pro immigration. I'm pro farmers. I'm pro jails. I'm pro laws. Pro Iran getting nuked. Pro Iran not doing any nuking.
Hotels and, places where people work, a certain group of people work. So we're working on it right now. We're going to work it so that some kind of a temporary pass where people pay taxes, where the farmer can have a little control as opposed to you walk in and take everybody away. But no, I don't
know. I'm not sure I'm fully on board with this. I think if you're illegally in the country, you should leave. That's kind of my perspective here. I get the idea that you should, obviously it'll destroy farmers, but this is a farmer that's been breaking the law for the last 10 years. By hiring someone that's illegally in the country, which is not legal. You cannot hire someone that's illegal in the country if you know that's the case. So this is someone who's been breaking the law for 10 years and you are rewarding them by saying that, hey, listen, it'll destroy their shit. I don't know, man. Nux, be careful, you're being too based. It's not easy to be as based as me and also not afraid of consequences of saying whatever the fuck I want to say. I personally think that if you're illegal in the country, you should get out. There's a reason why there's laws and the laws need to be enforced because otherwise other people are going to bend the laws.
The criminals are going out of this country.
Right, you said it from the beginning. You wanted to...
They shouldn't just leave. We should build a big, beautiful trebuchet. We can catapult them over our big, beautiful wall. Fantastic suggestion, chat.
First focus on the criminals, but I'm wondering if this change in giving people a pass is a response to the critics who said the execution was a little clumsy. People were afraid to go to work. They were afraid to run into ICE. They said, look, if you give a quota to somebody and say, go get me 600 people who are here in the country illegally, they'll come back with 600 people, even if it's not the right 600.
In my opinion, anyone that's in the country illegally is in the right 600. Obviously, you want to prioritize getting rid of violent criminals. Obviously, you want to prioritize getting rid of gang members and terrorists. Absolutely, that's the priority. Literally, 100%. But if you are illegally in the country, get the fuck out. Leave. You could self-deport. This being scared thing is not an excuse. Oh my God, I'm so scared to go to work. What if ICE catches me and deports me? So leave, get out, go away, literally go away. There is no reason for you to be here and be scared. You could leave and be not scared in a third world country.
So the execution was unbelievable because you have no people coming through our border anymore. Right. That's part of the execution. So it wasn't clumsy. What was clumsy is the fact that they allowed millions and millions of people to pour into our country. Take a look at some of the scenes. It's on your show all the time where thousands of people are trying to bust through a wall. They literally break down walls. There's so many people, and they're thousands of people, and they have no idea who those people are. This, to me, is the worst part of Biden. The worst thing he did was the whole thing on immigration. Now, with that being said, we know who they are, a lot of them. It's hard when they come in. They have no papers. They have no nothing. Just go ahead in.
Hence illegal.
Everybody can come in. They were emptied. I'm telling you, a lot of the Congo, we just made a deal with the Congo to stop the war.
Yep.
They would empty their prisons into the United States.
Their prisons.
Many other countries, just South America, Africa, Asia, Europe, parts of Europe, rough parts of Europe. Their prisons were emptied into the United States, and the people, you saw the people, they run into the country. To me, that's a sin that we can never forget. We can never forget Biden and that group.
I agree. Biden literally enabled a foreign invasion into our country. I literally don't think it's, I don't think you could possibly phrase it in any other way than, you don't know who, there are 20 million people in this country that they could be fucking planning some sort of crazy hostile takeover for all you know.
A group of lunatics that work for them have done to our country.
I believe that half of the world's cobalt is in the Congo.
Yeah.
Are you going to be able to help develop that? Will the U.S. participate in developing that cobalt?
Yeah, they want me to.
That's why Trump gets involved everywhere. Congo, it's in the middle of a crazy war. I'm gonna stop it. I want peace. I don't want anyone to die. Also, we're getting a lot of cobalt. Oh my God.
They actually want me to. The head, who is a very respected guy, look, I just stopped the war. This war was going on for 30 years. 6 million people were killed between Congo and Rwanda.
Where's Hasan Piker's protesting? I don't understand. Have you guys seen any Congo flags? Any Rwanda flags? Have you guys paid attention to any protests? Have you seen any protests going on for Congo, Rwanda? I don't know. What's going on in LA? I don't see any of that. I mean, I see people are protesting for Iran, all right? They're protesting for Palestine. Where's the Rwanda protests at, guys? Oh, it's because there's no white people that are the bad guys in your weird headcanon. Oh, never mind. Never mind, it explains all of it. I get it. Never mind. I'm sorry. You're right. I'm sorry. My bad. I forgot. I forgot. No white people to blame. They don't care.
And my people came to me, they say, they want you. They don't want China. They don't want Russia.
Where does music come from?
This coming up. What are you going to do about the end of the pause in the tariffs?
All right.
It's so simple. We're sending letters out. I'd rather do it now. My guys say I have great guys. Scott,
Great
Howard,
guys,
other
the
people,
greatest guys.
Jameson.
No one's made guys like these.
They're talking to all these countries. We made a deal pretty much with India. We made a deal with China. We made a deal with the UK. Great people. We made deals. But I'd rather just send them a...
Oh, God. Breaking news from 8 hours ago. There's no fucking way. I am in shock. Breaking news. Victory. Caving to Trump, Canada rescinds their digital service tax on American companies. Dude! Stop, bro! There's no way! Canada caved in 24 hours? Canada rescinds digital service tax to advance broker trade negotiations with the United States. Canada's new government engaged in complex negotiations on economic and partner... Yeah, it's over. Canada caved in less than 24 hours. Yeah, well, yeah, that's what happens when you have a president that actually has testicles, unlike the last one, whose testicles were somewhere else.
Letter, very fair letter, saying... Congratulations, we're going to allow you to trade in the United States of America. You're going to pay a 25% tariff or 20% or 40 or 50%. I would rather do that. So when I get...
We're not trying to extend the pause.
I don't think I'll need to because I could. There's no big deal.
You can do whatever you want.
It's like TikTok. I'm extending that, but no big deal. We have a buyer for TikTok, by the way. I think I'll need probably China approval, and I think President Xi will probably do it.
China.
I'll tell you in about 2 weeks.
A big technology company.
Bro, I love how he gives himself 2 weeks for everything. Every time someone asks him a question, he doesn't know the answer yet. He's like, come back to me in 2 weeks.
Yeah, very, very wealthy people. It's a group of very wealthy people. But what I want to do is, and what I will do just sometime prior to the 9th is we'll send a letter to all these countries. There's 200 countries. You can't talk to all of them. No matter how many of you can't talk to all of them. We'll send a letter and we'll say
We'll send a letter. The letter will only say one thing on the letter. I will have it handwritten, hand-delivered. They will know that there is no auto pen that touched this letter because it will be handwritten letter. The letter will be like so. I will show you how the letter is written. The letter is written like this. This is what we will do. This is the letter. Okay? It's going to be as simple as this. FAFO, signed Donald J. Trump. That is what the letter is going to look like. No more lettering required. It's going to be easy. That's all we needed to do. FAFO, signed Donald Trump. Thank you so much for coming to my TED Talk. That is exactly what's gonna happen. Yes, that's exactly what's happening. That's the letter. That's what's gonna be delivered to all of them.
We consider it a great honor, and this is what you'll have to do to...
We consider it a great honor for you to completely capitulate to all of our demands. You're welcome.
Shop in the United States. We're like a department store. To shop in the United States, and you'll pay a 25% tariff, and we wish you a lot of luck. And that's the end of the trade deal. Because we have something that nobody has, but... If I didn't get elected, I'm telling you, we wouldn't have had a country left. You know that better than anybody. Nobody covers it better than you. If I didn't turn this thing around, this big ship around, we turned it around just like those ships coming out of China. They were coming and loaded, and in the middle of the ocean, they were forced to go back because at 145% tariff, Walmart, nobody wanted their product. And that caused a big problem for China. And then I helped China.
So
by reducing it.
We don't know. We don't have the clarity on what you're going to do with these expiration of these pauses. July 9th.
No, I thought I just said it. No, I thought I just said it. You ready?
You're going to send the letters.
I'm going to send letters. That's the end of the trade deal. I could send
Oh
to Japan.
my God, dude! I don't have time to communicate with all of these retards. They're retarded, don't you know? When they're going to come at me with their army of lawyers and Karens to discuss things, I will send them a letter. If they do not capitulate, they die.
Japan, here's the story. You're going to pay a 25% tariff on your cars, So we give Japan no cars. They won't take our cars. And yet we take millions and millions of their cars into the United States. It's not fair. And I explain that to Japan, and they understand it. And we have a big deficit with Japan, and they understand that too. Now, we have oil. They could take a lot of oil. They could take a lot of other things. But basically, and I'm for doing it right now, we send letters out to all of the countries explaining to them, we'll look at the deficit we have or whatever it is with the country. We'll look at how a country treats us. Are they good? Are they not so good? Some countries, we don't care. We'll just send a high number out. But we're going to be sending letters out starting pretty soon. No, we don't have to meet. We understand. We have all the numbers. Listen, what we're going to do is we're going to send, and we're going to say, congratulations, we're allowing you to shop in the United States.
Bro, it's crazy. It's crazy. You're welcome for being invited to shop at my country. If you don't like it, shop at some other country. It's probably gayer than mine.
Of America, you're going to pay a 25% tariff, or 35%, or 50%, or 10%.
Oh my God! He's just gonna deliver them letters. I don't have time to communicate with all of them. You capitulate to everything, or you fucking die. And your choice. Don't worry. I believe in you. You have the right to choose.
Automakers are worried about.
And then yes, people are complaining that Trump is a bully. Oh, he's a bully. He's harming relations. No, because China loved us before. China was like worshipped America before, and now China, they don't like us. You people fucking suck. You guys are so pathetic. It's amazing. I love watching people complain that Trump is a bully. Holy shit. Actually gets shit done and everyone's like, he's such a bully.
They don't want Japan and Korea to have a lower tariff if you do a deal with them than the U.S. automakers are paying.
Well, the U.S. automakers are going to be so busy selling cars in the U.S., they're not going to even have to worry about it. But that won't happen. Because I set a tariff. Let's say I take a certain country and I set a tariff at 25 and they're charging 35 or 40. I'll raise the tariff to 35 or 40.
I want to ask you about.
Bro's not playing. Bro is not playing. He's like, you want to rip us off? We will even it out with you, and we have the cards. We don't need you. You do need us. Fuck you.
AI.
He's right. He's
there
right.
are
He's
a couple of companies that are announcing layoffs. They're actually cutting people.
Layoffs.
Some of these companies are blaming tariffs. Some of these companies are blaming a consumer slowdown, and other people are blaming AI. Okay, you've got Procter.
By the way, tariffs is what's bringing the companies in. We have auto companies building plants where they wouldn't
These
have
tariffs are going to increase jobs. They might make things more expensive, but one thing they absolutely will do is increase jobs. Because now, obviously, other countries are going to be building their industries in America instead of building them in cheaper countries and shipping it to America.
100 years, we have more investment in the United States.
And also, speaking of jobs, all these people that worry about jobs, you do realize that jobs are being taken by people that are in the country illegally, right? Like you do realize that there are probably millions of jobs in this country that are literally being usurped by people that should not be in the country legally. Think about it. You want to get a job as a cashier in a supermarket, and the cashier is, that job is taken because there's someone in that supermarket that is illegally in the country that is not being paid minimum wage because the actual owner of the supermarket does not need to pay the minimum wage. He can pay them less because they're not legal in the country. What are they going to do, sue you? Well, is the illegal immigrant going to sue you? Obviously not. They're not going to go to court. You crazy? It's a disgusting slop mentality that's designed to fuck over Americans that are lower class. Lower class Americans are getting absolutely fucked by this. And people are starting to wake up. People are starting to realize. People are starting to realize it's happening. The mass awakening begins. We're getting there, baby. We're getting there.
It's right now that we've ever had before. Think of it. Yeah, almost $15 trillion. Look at this guy from last year. What kind of numbers they were to people leaving. They weren't coming in. Now they're coming in.
Like you've said, you brought wealth back to America.
Wealth, spirit back.
And spirit, baby.
People respect our country again. You know, it's very important. I'm a cheerleader also for the country, aside from everything else, like you are. We brought spirit back. We brought respect and dignity back. When I went to the European, I was in that beautiful place.
Yeah, they treated him like the main character.
With the king and the queen, and it was like beautiful. Everything's so nice. But when I went to the Netherlands and I looked, everybody was coming up, Mr. President, Mr. President.
Right, all the people that screamed fascist dictator, he's Hitler too, they all love him now. Pretty weird.
They didn't do that.
Bro is the main character. Maybe he is the main character. I don't know.
A year ago.
It's Trump's world. We're just living in it, baby.
2 years ago. These are the big countries. This is Germany and France and all of them. I mean, a big group of countries. They respect America again. They laughed at us. They thought we were a joke. You had a president that kept falling downstairs and falling on stages and couldn't find an entrance to, he makes a little speech that lasted for about a half a minute. And he looks around, he's looking for stairs. There's like 6 different stairs, and he can't figure out which stair. We were laughed at all over the world. More importantly than that, what they did to the country. What they did to the country with allowing 21 million people will never be forgotten.
He's right.
And I have to rectify that problem, and we've done it. And we're getting all the criminals out.
I just want to ask you about the job cuts from these companies. Some of them are blaming AI. And one CEO told me that AI, artificial intelligence...
Dude, these people are such fucking frauds. All right, the AI grifters are my favorite new kind of grifter because it's the easiest thing in the world to go onto. You go onto Twitter and you say, AI is bad, actually. And then you farm updates on the internet of people being like, oh my God, he's so brave. He said the thing that gets him likes on Twitter. You all are gigantic pussies. Literally massive, throbbing, borderline dry pussies. Literally going out there making believe that that shit's actually destroying the universe. Bro, if you are pro illegal immigrants in the country and you're anti-AI because it's taking jobs from people, you might be retarded, all right? This is a diagnosis. You might be a retard, okay? For real, you might be retarded. Oh my God, artists are gonna lose their jobs because of AI. Yeah, well, people that want to work in construction are gonna be losing their jobs because of illegal immigrants in the country, okay? I'm sorry, you're retarded. Look, I understand that AI is going to take jobs, and I feel bad for the people that lose their jobs because of AI. But if you think that AI bad, but you don't care about illegal immigrants taking the jobs of Americans, then you, sir, are a grifting, virtue-signaling bitch with zero morals. So, sorry, I know that this is going to ruffle some feathers. I know AI is, like, one of those topics that everyone's like, oh my God, AI! Y'all retards! Sorry, y'all retarded! That's my opinion.
It allows engineers to be at least 25% more productive. It's helpful in contract management. It's helpful in repetitive jobs. It's helpful in data. What can you do to offset the job cuts that will no doubt come as a result of AI efficiency?
One thing, very simple, bring more companies and more jobs. You know, the truth is we don't have enough people to take care of these jobs. So it's like perfect timing. We don't have enough people. You know, my biggest problem is they're coming in and they have to hire thousands and thousands of workers. This is perfect timing. We don't have enough people. If AI is so good, which I hear it is, and there's a lot of money being bet by very smart people, I'll tell you, we are dominating AI. That's the other thing. And they all said, well, we'd have a problem because of electricity. We don't make enough electricity. We would have to double our electric power. Can you believe that? And you know what I did? I had an idea. I said, when you build your plant, you're spending billions. You're going to become a utility, an electric utility. You're going to also build a utility. You're not going to take it from an old grid that's been here for 100 years. You're going to take it right from a new facility. And they actually looked at me. They said, you do that? Of course I would. It's a national emergency. I'm going to approve everything. And you'll have your approval in 2 weeks. And Lee Zeldin is doing an amazing job, the environmental commissioner. I said, Lee, you're going to approve this stuff fast. Make sure it's safe, make sure it's good, but you have to get it done fast. Because in China, you know how long it takes? One day. China. It's called President Xi. Boom. It's okay.
And you know what? Obviously, it's important to have Congress. It's obviously important to have people. It's obviously important to have checks and balances so you can't have some tyrannical government authoritarian overlord just want to take over the country. But the fact that nothing fucking happens, okay? By the fact that nothing fucking happens because of how slow and bullshit all this crap is, but is frustrating as fuck. It really is. It genuinely is. 2 weeks? Yeah, dude, I'm telling you, 2 weeks is his go-to. Every time someone asks him a question, he says 2 weeks. But do you see what I am saying? Do you see how insane this is, bro? God damn. It's really nice that a president can actually get shit done without random fucking retards in some court in Tennessee telling you that, oh, wait a second, Mr. President, I would like to veto your order. Breaking news, a district-appointed judge had just ordered Trump needs to rebuild Iran's nuclear facilities.
Over here, we're going to have almost the same thing. We're getting fast approvals. And you can do nuclear because nuclear now is safe and good and inexpensive. But you can do oil and gas. You can do coal. And the reason we do coal is because, and I call it clean, beautiful coal. You can really do things with coal today that you couldn't have done. But the beautiful thing about the coal and the thing that I look at, you know who uses coal? China.
China.
59 plants they're opening this year. Right. Coal. You know why? It's very powerful. It's very powerful.
Coal is
so
great.
We opened up coal. We were closing all our coal mines all over the country, and yet we still have a lot of coal. We use the generating plants of coal because it's the strongest, and we're doing coal. So we have everything, every form. I don't want windmills destroying our place. I don't want, you know, these solar things where they go for miles and they cover up a half a mountain.
I mean, I love solar energy, to be honest. I think solar energy is awesome.
They're ugly as hell. And by the way, the panels are all they're ugly as hell. They're all made in China. Okay.
True though, he's right. It's a Chinese industry. God, he's not wrong. He's not wrong. Oh, and that's the end. That's the end of the industry. That's the end of the intro. And then they. Why would they include this on Fox News, bro? Why would they include a washing machine outro? No, dude. I don't even know, man. The media is so fucking cooked, bro. What the fuck is this, bro? Why is this in the video? Okay, so you have the meeting with Donald Trump, right?
Don't want the way the panels are.
All right, and then that, and then it goes to this. I don't know, man. I'm not gonna lie, bro. Fox News is so fucking like mainstream media is cooked. No, but what I mean about AI, let me introduce you to a grifter. All right, so this is BB No Money. All right, he is known for making a music video where he censored Asmongold in every single frame because Asmongold is a Trump supporter. So dangerous, a Trump supporter. Oh my god. So this guy is super anti-Trump, obviously. So he's anti-Trump, anti-ICE, anti-deporting people. Life without AI. What a utopia. Fuck AI. AI is so bad. AI is so ass. AI art, bad. Commissioning artists, good. AI art plus VO3, poop. Commissioning artists, great. Cover my song, excluding AI art. Yeah, I like AI. Artists, incredibly good artwork that deserve to be paid for and appreciated the time they put into it. To AI artists, learn how to draw. Bro, this is some spineless grifting bullshit. Like, obvious, look, dude, 400,000 likes. This is literally, obviously, just for the grift. He doesn't care about anyone. He doesn't care about artists. He doesn't care about, it's a virtue signal. It is such an obvious virtue signal. So yes, these are the people I am referring to when I say, oh my god, I care so much about jobs. Anyway, let's not deport illegal immigrants that are taking jobs from people for lower than a regular wage. So anyway, a random BB No Money exposed video at the end there. But yeah, so that's been Trump. He's been cooking. He's absolutely been cooking. I think the most shocking thing is that people are looking up to America. People are waking up, I think. When you have people in England, when you have people in America praising Iran, all right, and Iran is executing their own people. When you have people in England making these chants, I heard you want your country back. Ha, shut the fuck up.
Heard you want your country back. Me too. Heard you want your country back. Shut the fuck up.
So I think when you see things like this, people are going to wake up and realize, wait a second, these people are vindictively trying to take over my country. And I think that is what's happening. Did he get deported? No, but he was refused entry apparently into the United States, which is lovely, I guess. Why the fuck would you want this person in the United States? So realistically, definitely subscribe because this is the greatest content of all time on the history of YouTube. Probably not. However, I am gonna say what I think every time I think it. All right, I'm not gonna like censor myself and be like, no, what if I say something and accidentally misgender somebody? You're not gonna have any of that problems here. All right, I got canceled so many times. I'm just gonna cook. I'm gonna cook whenever I feel like cooking. When I'm hungry, we eat. Thank you so much for being here. Appreciate you guys. Lock in, boys and girls. The drama will be televised. Thank God. God bless America. Like, subscribe, and this video was streamed live on kick.com/Nuxanor. See you there. Stay weird, fam.